hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the channel. I'm just a human eating plants. Today I'm going to make a creamy sprout salad. It would be similar to like a tuna salad or something along those lines as far as flavor goes. Obviously there's not going to be any tuna in this. I do use a few ingredients, so I'll go ahead and go through those and show you, and then I'll put the full recipe and the amounts down in the description box below. So I've got a bowl full of sprouts here, and this is a big mixture of sprouts. You can use any type of sprouts that you have. I do recommend using like a larger, like a bean sprout. These are horse graham lentil sprouts, urad sprouts, moth bean sprouts, and mung bean sprouts. So I've just got a big variety in here. If you didn't have but just one kind, it's just fine. I sprout all the time and have many, so I'm going to use all 4 of these sprouts. I've got a 1/4 cup of cashews that I've had soaking. Make sure you do soak your nuts and seeds before you use them and before you eat them, and make sure they're raw, organic nuts and seeds. I've got a lemon. I'm a lemon juicer. I've got about a handful of spinach here, fresh spinach. I've got some dill. I've got some onion I'm going to cut up. Got about a handful of parsley. I have 3 little mini sweet red peppers. And I've got 3 celery stalks. And I also have the center of the celery. I don't like to waste anything. I eat everything, so I'm going to use this too. I have an English cucumber, 1 green onion, and then I've got some fresh pea shoot sprouts or microgreens that I just cut, and then I'm going to chop those up, and the green onion and these will be for the top of the salad when it's done. I also use tahini. I don't make my own tahini. You can. It's just, if you don't know what tahini is, it's ground sesame seed. But I do buy it because I don't know. I don't use it very often, so I don't make it. So I don't have that on camera because I don't advertise certain brands or anything like that. Just make sure you get a good organic tahini, something that's, affordable to you, but just find what you like and use that. So to get started, and I've got my food processor too. And so to get started, we're going to get the food processor bowl off. And I'm going to go ahead and put my S-blade in there. And I'm going to put a couple handfuls of these sprouts in here. That should work. That should be good. And then I'm going to move this over here. And I've got my compost basket. Make sure you got that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this celery in here. So I'm going to cut the end of it off. And with organic celery, you can keep this, put this in a little dish of water, and this will start to grow back. And you can actually plant this, but just only do it if it's organic. But it's also just fun for kids to watch things grow. You'll have a nice little baby stalk of celery come growing out of this. So it's just something fun to do. But I compost, so I'm going to put that in my compost. And then I'm just going to cut this up a little bit just to put it in the food processor. Leaves and everything. All of it's going in. And this is a good way, like if you make dressings or sauces or like creamy salads like this, don't waste your leafy greens. Use them. And I'm also going to use a little bit of this English cucumber in there too. Probably not quite half, about that much of it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut it up in some smaller pieces. And what else goes in? Oh, we're going to put some of this parsley in. Not everything's going to go into the food processor. We're doing, some of it will be for afterwards, so it's fresh and we can mix it in. And then we're going to put some onion in here too. I'm just going to cut that off and just sprinkle this around in here. I like onion. And then I'm going to drain my cashews, and we're going to use those. And then just put those in there as well. Now we're going to take the lemon, and I'm going to juice half of it. And another trick, if you're going to juice your lemon, I actually already did it, but I'll grab another one and I'll show you. What you want to do, if you're going to juice a lemon, take it and roll it first. And that's going to help make it much easier to juice and make it a little softer. It's also a really good trick if you make your own lemonade. Do that first and that'll help. But we're just going to juice this. Juice half of a lemon. Go ahead and put that in. And then I'm going to add in the tahini. And I'm going to start with about a tablespoon of tahini. Well, I'm going to do another one because it's pretty thick. But you can also, if you don't eat sprouts, or if you don't have any sprouts, you can also do this with chickpeas, garbanzo beans. You can also do it with that. And then we're going to put the lid on this. Put it on the food processor. Locked in there, the lid locked. And I'm going to pulse it a few times, and then I'm going to let it mix. I do want this to get kind of creamy. This is going to be your creamy sauce. The rest of everything we're going to cut up and mix it all up together in a bowl. Oh, and we're going to put, I knew I was forgetting something. I'm going to put about half of this dill in here now. Now what you want to do is you want to check this and see what consistency and scrape it down. I used to have a really nice little thing that was built in that was a scraper, but I broke it. I broke it. You make an ice cream. Don't use, if you have one of those, be careful what you use it with. It will break. So I do have to stop and mix mine up. Now this is not very creamy right now at all. It's kind of like a thick, almost like a paste, and that's not what we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit more tahini. And when you make food with raw, fresh produce, it's really hard to have an exact recipe because you just don't know what the water content is going to be like in your vegetables. Like celery is very watery, cucumber is very watery. So if you use too much at once, then you can end up with soup instead of like a creamy sauce. And we're going for creamy here. So I juiced that lemon and I'm going to add that in. And it depends on how juicy your lemons are. Some lemons are really juicy, some aren't. So just, you know, you kind of have to play with it a little bit. It's never going to be exact every single time. I'm just going to put this right back on here. Pulse it again a couple times and then I'm going to let it mix. I think that looks like it's getting creamy now. I mean, much more how we want it. Yeah, that's creamy now. That's kind of what we're looking for. Now I'm going to try it. I'm going to taste a little tiny bit and see. Sometimes I will add think it needs a little more lemon. So I'm going to get another lemon here. Like I said, you just roll it first. Going to help make it easier to juice. And let's add that in there. Now it may only take you one lemon. And since I did put that in there, it's probably going to thin it out a little bit. But I think it'll still be okay. I'm also going to put a little bit of pepper in here too. Now, if there are other seasonings and spices and things that you like, go right ahead and put some in there. I'm putting in a half a teaspoon, or no, I take that back. That is half a teaspoon of pepper. And again, I'm just going to pulse it and let it mix. And I'm going to go ahead and add all the dill. I want it all. I think we're in business now, folks. I think this is good to go. Let's try this again really quick. Oh, that's perfect. It's just so good and it tastes so fresh. So I'm going to set this aside. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put the rest of the sprouts in here. That's going to give you a really nice crunch and texture in there. And now we're going to start cutting all this up and use it in our salad. If your celery is really wide, what I'll do usually is I cut it in half. And this just makes it easier to eat too. And then just cut it in nice little pieces, just nice little bite-sized pieces. If cutting herbs and things like cilantro, parsley, different things like that, if you fold it in half, it's a little easier, but it is for me. And then I just take in just little pieces. And so everything's just going in here. And we're going to do the same with the spinach. Stems and everything, all of it. It's all going in. And that's going to go in. I'm going to put some more fresh onion. I really like onion, and onion's good for you. And a trick, if you peel your onion or cut it in half and leave it, don't cut this end off, that's roots. And then you can make a real easy way to make cut diced onions. Just take and cut it this way first. And then turn it and cut it that way. See, there you go. You got, get off there. sometimes the end pieces, but yeah, you got nice diced onions. I'm just gonna do just a few. I don't want much. I've already got onion in here, but I like the crunch of onion. I love fresh onion. If you don't like onion that much, you don't have to put that much in there. That's the nice thing with cooking this way. You just put in what you want and what you like. You know, if you don't like red peppers, don't put red peppers in. Put something else in there. Put another fresh veggie in there. You can, there's lots of different ones. You can also make like hummus and do hummus, but I don't really eat a lot of beans, so you would just make that with your chickpeas or garbanzo beans for your sauce. You can look it up though, there's lots of recipes for homemade hummus. And then I'm gonna use this English cucumber. I'm just gonna cut it in half. And then I'm gonna cut it in thirds. I don't have a big enough bowl. Okay, I didn't start with a big enough bowl, so we're gonna do that. Get this all mixed up. Now you're just gonna take your sauce that we just made. Make sure you get everything out of there. Don't leave any of that goodness in there. All right, now mix. I am going to put just a little bit more lemon juice in here now. Kind of help everything mix up just a little bit better. And that wasn't much, just a couple little splashes. I like that fresh lemony taste with the dill and the parsley and just all the fresh ingredients. I don't put a lot of seasonings in my food. Now if you want to spice this up, go right ahead, put a spicy pepper in there, or use some cayenne pepper, or anything like that. If you do eat salt, throw some salt in there. Just play around with it a little bit. You could probably put a little splash of vinegar in there, maybe some tarragon vinegar. That would probably be really good. There's lots of different things you could do to change it up. So this is lunch today. So what I'm going to do is cut up these pea shoot sprouts a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this green onion. And again, if you don't like onion this much, or you don't want it, don't put it on there. You make the food how you like it. Just use fresh ingredients. Alright, so this is how I'm going to eat it today. I'm going to take these lettuce. These are just romaine lettuce leaves. I got a spoon. And I'm just going to take and put some in here like this. Now if you eat bread, I would suggest like a sprouted grain bread, but if you eat bread, these make really good sandwiches, make really good wraps. You can just put this on top of a bed of greens. I do that quite often as well. But these are kind of fun to eat this way. It's kind of messy, but it just changes things up a little bit. Even I get tired of eating just a regular old salad sometimes. I love it though. And I mean, this is really pretty much just a salad too. It's just cut up different. I'm just eating it a different way. So there, I've got 4 of those, and then I'm going to take this avocado I got here. I'm not going to use much of it. I've got cashew in there already and some tahini, but I really like avocado. And when you're eating fats, you just want to make sure you're eating the good fats. I'm just going to put a couple spoonfuls, or a spoonful on each one. There we go. So I'm only using about half of this avocado. Get it all. And then I'm going to take a couple of these tomatoes and just slice them up. And then I'm going to take the green onion and sprinkle it on top. And my pea shoot sprouts, just all of it. There you go. There's my lunch. And like I said, you could also just do this on a bed of greens, put a couple big scoopfuls on there, and there you go. Just a nice, healthy, light lunch. This will keep you going. This won't have you sleepy at your desk in an hour, wishing you were home and you could take a nap. Don't go through the drive-thru. Don't go to the grocery store and get something out of the frozen food section. Just take a little bit of time. Each night before you go to bed, prepare some food to take to work with you for the next day. This lifestyle and eating healthy is very obtainable. It's all up to you. You make the choice. But I just hope that you eat more plants. Until next time. Mm. Mm, mm, mm.